The Game Awards 2018 is in the bag. 3+ hours of Keighley and Co. and some Nintendo. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. Gabe is here, and I hope you enjoyed my unplanned intro.
I enjoyed it, Zach. Does that count?
That's all I need. Your approval is what I'm here for. But we're also here for the Nintendo Switch focus announcements from the show. God of War went on to win Game of the Year. Red Dead Redemption 2 cleaned up house. Celeste grabbed Independent Game of the Year. And there were plenty of announcements and some really cool ones for Switch. Now, the Smash Bros. Thing is obviously there and we'll discuss. But I want to first go to the big surprise of the night. Well, the first big surprise, which was that Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. This franchise is back after over 10 years of absence. It's made by Team Ninja, it's published by Nintendo, and it's a 2019 Switch exclusive to add to the ever-growing lineup.
Just to correct you, not over 10 years. When the game releases, it's going to be 10 years. Ultimate Alliance 2 released in 2009, Zachary. But
thank you.
It
feels like forever.
Yeah, this blew my mind. I said this in the video I made individually for this. People have been like wanting this for a very long time. When people say like, hey, make your E3 predictions, this is one of the pipe dreams that people always say that like never happened, but it would be really cool if Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 happens. For a long time, the rights were like tied up all over the place. Activision had Marvel rights for a very long time. Marvel has since then taken that away and been way more selective with who they are allowing to work with their properties. We saw that Sony did a phenomenal job with PlayStation this year, and some other stuff didn't go quite as planned over on Telltale with the other Marvel stuff, but they are being selective, and who better to select than Nintendo to put out a Marvel Ultimate Alliance sequel, Zach? I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, what I really like about this is that it feels like a game specifically chosen for the Switch, and I think that says a lot about the platform and where it is maybe going from a third-party standpoint. We always talk about, okay, it's great to get third-party games from before. It's even greater to get third-party games that are multi-platform simultaneous releases, but I think it's even greater to get exclusives and ones that feel very tailored to the platform. This is 4-player co-op, a new over-the-shoulder camera view. We got to see gameplay in the trailer. It looks good, it's colorful, it's flashy, it's fun, and it fits the Switch. This is going to be an amazing time on the Switch. It's a fantastic fit, and I love that it is bringing a totally new group of characters to a Nintendo-published game. Like, it just feels like they're becoming the Disney of the gaming world and creating partnerships and working with everyone. I mean, Smash Bros. Is a crossover crazy party, but this is equally impressive to me.
Seeing X-Men and Avengers like together again is equally like weird, just because for a long time they were kept so separated because of dumb movie rights issues, and now that Disney's going to just own everything because of the Fox acquisition, like, you're seeing Wolverine there, and then there's like Inhumans, and you see the Guardians of the Galaxy, then you see like regular Avengers, then you see Skrull, and you see like every like villain imaginable. Like Wilson Fisk is like hanging out. I think he might have had like an Infinity Stone. I was like, well, Wilson Fisk, what are you doing? So that's really cool. The sleeper exciting part about the Zach, developed by Team Ninja. Jeff Keighley confirmed that on Twitter. Team Ninja has a pedigree of doing really, really cool stuff. Ninja Gaiden, Neo is their more recent title that got some serious critical acclaim. But yeah, seeing Team Ninja come back into the fold with Nintendo and have what has been, again, a pipe dream for many gamers, it fits perfectly.
Yeah, and note that it is, again, published by Nintendo, so this isn't a case of like, oh, it's going to be exclusive for a couple months and then holiday season coming to Xbox One and PS4. This probably stays on the Switch, and it's a licensed property that has a whole lot of clout and a lot of history and should be a really fun time. There were other big third-party gets for the Switch. One that was expected, I think, Crash Team Racing. We kind of knew that was coming. It's called Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, the remastered version of the Racer. It's June 21st, 2019 for $40, and it's coming to Switch because the Insane Trilogy is on Switch. I think that was pretty expected, but it's a good get. The one that blew me away, not as much maybe as Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but I was shocked after the brutality showcased in the trailer that Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to Switch, and it sure seems like it's day and date on April 23rd.
We're not even going to show the trailer because it's so brutal. We don't want to get like demonetized or anything. I'll have like a screenshot of like a logo or something. So sorry about that, guys. But God, this thing is absolutely brutal. And it's Mortal Kombat. You expect brutality, but this seems to even be on another level than what we are used to from the series. Ed Boon, he seems like such a nice human, but his head is also so twisted. And I'm sure Ed Boon isn't the one that thinks of all of this stuff, him specifically, but Ed Boon,
maybe some of it.
Ed Boon, I am onto you. You are not escaping here. Mortal Kombat, huge franchise, and having it come potentially day and date to Nintendo Switch is going to be really cool. This is what we want. We want big third-party games to be announced, and we want to see that Switch logo on the bottom of the trailer right next to Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, and it's early in the year, which is a good sign. It's not like we have to, one, wait for the game, nor wait for some of these cool multi-platform releases. It does look brutal. It's supposedly, based on rumors and leaks, going to be a very fleshed out title that has sort of a new twist on the roster, looking at a story mode plus an adventure mode, some sort of character creation, or at least character customization, and yeah, hopefully it runs well and looks good on Switch. We've been waiting for NetherRealm to make the move. We've wanted Injustice and Injustice 2 for a while. Not sure if we ever get those, if this opens the door for them, but at least we're getting the brand new game, and I love Mortal Kombat X. I thought that game was a ton of fun. D'Vorah was an awesome character to play with. I actually got to go meet Ed Boon and go to the offices for the launch of that game. So
did he do a fatality on you?
Out. Yeah, thankfully no, but maybe we'll get to check out MK11 early at some point. All right, also on the multi-platform front, we had Stranger Things 3, the game, coming to Switch, and we had some new Rocket League DLC, a McLaren car pack, and this Switch title called Sayonara Wild Hearts. It's not really probably our type of game, but it was one of the first reveals, maybe even the first reveal of the show.
The very first thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it's coming to Switch. So all in all, from a third-party standpoint, I think it's a successful evening. There, obviously were games that were not included on the Switch, but the ones that were, and the exclusive get of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Mortal Kombat being day and date. It's odd to me that some of the best third-party day and daters on Switch are these insanely violent games like Doom Eternal, Mortal Kombat 11. It's so weird that those are the ones that seem to come out concurrently on Switch, and typically you would think those being Nintendo titles, but a very exciting time. Now, technically Nintendo gets credit for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, so that's not really third party. It's first party at this point, or I guess second party. Team Ninja developed, whatever.
Yeah, it's second.
From a first party standpoint, I did feel that the show was lacking, and I blame it all on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The game is out now everywhere, and they probably didn't want to steal a single ounce of thunder from the biggest game of the year, releasing literally minutes after the Game Awards concluded. So in years past, where we've seen Bayonetta have a huge reveal, where we've seen Breath of the Wild get its DLC released or announced and released, that wasn't going to happen tonight. There really wasn't much from Nintendo's 2019 lineup except for a Smash Brothers character reveal. This is the first character unveiled for the DLC Fighters Pack, and I don't think anyone predicted it.
No, I think it was impossible to predict this. Man, if someone somewhere predicted this at some point, please show us, in the comments. If there was a Reddit thread for someone months ago that said the Joker was coming to Super Smash Brothers. They deserve all the internet brownie points in the world. I know you feel underwhelmed might not be the word here. I know you weren't totally happy with the direction they're going in as far as this first fighter for the pack, because Reggie said as much. He said that this is going to set the precedent for what the rest of the fighter packs are going to be like. Yeah,
I do wonder how much we take that, his word at face value, or if it's just more Smash Brothers is a big crossover, so characters are going to be crossing over from different games. But, the fact that they had sort of that Smash Bros. Cross persona, and he said, that directly after, is every fighter in this pack going to be a crossover from another franchise that has never appeared in Smash Bros? Is that the direction that they've chosen to take? And, Piranha Plant is sort of the Nintendo, homegrown character, and these 5 are going to be very other franchise, developer, publisher centric. I think Joker is a cool addition merely because he's such a surprise. I think Persona 5 is a really awesome game, and he's a really cool character. I find it odd that that's the first you reveal for a number of reasons. One, I don't know that very much of the Smash Bros. Audience as a whole, not the hardcore, but as a whole, knows who this even is. And as you're trying to reveal your paid DLC, it seems odd that you would lead with a character that a lot of people probably don't really have much familiarity with. Two, Persona 5 came out in 2016, and the game was not a Nintendo. It was not on Nintendo platforms. So does this mean that Persona 5, some Redux edition, does come to the Switch in 2019 or 2020 or whatnot? That to me just feels a little bit odd. And then 3, I feel like if this Fighters Pack is going to be outside of Nintendo, one, the rumor mill is just so weird then, because of all the characters we've heard predicted, so many of them are evaporating as these days and months and trailers pass. And to have a pack that, this is just possible right now, doesn't include any of those Nintendo beloved characters, it just might be a bit odd.
I have a counter to everything you're saying.
Go for it.
Okay. First, you're saying, this Persona 5 isn't on Switch. Cool, but, Metal Gear wasn't on Wii U, and neither was Final Fantasy. So that's happened before, where these characters from these platforms just make it Smash, even though they're not on the platform. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I just to say this, I think that Joker is more unique because of the fact that he is so specific to Persona 5.
Okay.
Whereas Snake carries across the entire franchise, and therefore
Cloud doesn't.
No, but Cloud is, I don't know, that's like a revered character that. Okay, continue. Let's
all right,
go on with all your counters.
All right,
my bad.
My other counter here, you're saying, hey, who even knows who Joker is? That seems to be your sentiment. And I know Snake is more popular, but the heart, the core, or maybe not core, the casual Nintendo fan doesn't know who Snake is. They don't know who.
Oh, I think that's very.
They don't.
I think those characters
sure.
are not even close.
Fine, cool. Snake is a little bit more popular, so let's try to get a little more obscure. There's so many characters in Super Smash Bros.
Richter, I guess, would be my.
Sure, who's Richter? Even Simon, right? He's from an old game from a very long time ago. Cloud. Yes, Final Fantasy VII is uber popular. I get it, but I think the casual Smash Brothers fan, okay, you said 90% of Smash fans aren't going to know who this is. I feel like that could apply to some other characters as well. So that's my only other counter there.
All right. And in terms of it being a non-Nintendo focused DLC pack, does that
They did it last time with Wii U. It worked out pretty well. For me,
yeah.
As long as the character's fun to play, I don't care. Pretend that it's an original character for all I care. It's not an original character. It's from a very revered franchise. We get that, but as long as the gameplay is on point and the stage is going to be cool and the music is going to be cool, I don't mind it at all. Really.
Yeah, I mean, the exciting part for me out of this is, one, it opens the door for Persona 5 to really come to Switch. It's been rumored before. Maybe it really does happen. And two, the potential then, if crossover is the way they're going to go, then I'm back on my Banjo-Kazooie train of making it happen with Microsoft. I'm back on the train of another strange fighter, whether it's a Goku or a Sora or something like that comes from a third party, a major franchise. If it doesn't have to even be on Switch, if it doesn't have to have really anything to do with Nintendo in the current era, the sky's the limit. And who has Sakurai speed dialed to say, let's get this guy in the game? That to me is very exciting, and I do think that you're right. If Joker ends up being really fun to play, it's totally worth it. And I wonder when the next one comes. Probably the next Direct, I'm guessing, is when we'll see the next character. No gameplay here, so that's still TBD. But it'll be interesting to find out how they choose to do the rest of these trailers, if they're all going to be in this style. It would be fun if Nintendo snuck their way into other shows or other special events, and then it just was a crossover. That is kind of cool, I guess.
What I'm giggling at here, and I go on my own little head trip sometimes. The way that this was revealed, where Jeff pretended to just keep going with the show, and then the lights go off, and he's like, "Oh, what's happening?" Oh, Jeff, I thought it was cute.
It was a cool moment. I liked it a lot. I was hoping that it was going to be tied more into Mr. Reggie's Ridley t-shirt, and I did want to touch on the fact that Metroid was absent. Now, there was no word from Nintendo that it would be there, so this can't really go down as an actual disappointment, but I was let down because the rumor mill seemed to indicate that it was assuredly going to show up in some capacity, whether Metroid Prime 4 or Metroid Prime Trilogy. It was being hinted at and nudged at for quite a while, and Nintendo usually does have some substantial new game reveals. You can, like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, second party or not, it's definitely is a big reveal, but I was bummed that we saw nothing of Metroid, and it more and more seems like that game is nowhere near release, and I don't know if we get the trilogy at this point. People are still saying that it's going to be announced. I saw Liam Robertson take to Twitter and say, like, it's coming, it's just not tonight. Obviously, there's plenty more opportunities between now and E3 for Nintendo to drop more trailers and drop more announcements, but I was bummed for a 3+ hour show that the only like real first party news we got was a cinematic Joker trailer.
I was bummed too until I remembered it was an award show and not like a like Nintendo specific thing. Like, I mean, we got enough. Like, it was an award show. For me, my expectations are always so low with these things.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I end up feeling like less let down than you, because yeah, rumors and speculation, it's cool and everything, but I do believe it's coming at some point as far as Metroid goes.
Yeah.
So let me throw that out there. I do think it happens. And, you're right. There's a lot of time, especially because I really, really, really do not think that we're getting Metroid in 2019. Like, 2019 is so stacked as far as, like...
Yeah, if everything hits, yeah.
Yeah, like, Nintendo exclusive stuff. Like, they have so many games to release. So I don't think Metroid's making it.
And maybe it was a better moment to highlight some third-party support and the direction that 2019 could take for the console. Do you think that this indicates the new trend that we will be getting more and more games like Mortal Kombat 11, like Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, and like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch? Is 2019 going to be much more of a boom year for those third-party games and deals versus what 2018 felt at times like a bust for third-party?
I mean, that's the hope, right? We want to see more and more in this as the Switch continues to exist. And, there's rumors of the hardware revamp or whatever, upgrade, whatever it ends up being. Like, I feel like that would only make things easier going forward. And, we've talked about this before, but it's time for these third parties to catch up. If they wanted to wait and see how Switch was going to do for a bit, they waited, they saw, did well. Time to get your games out here. And it does feel like it's time.
Absolutely. I fully agree. I think that the directs that come in the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, the end of the year, I think they'll continue to ooze out information about third-party deals and maybe even more exclusives. If the Switch success has built confidence amongst other companies, properties, publishers, maybe you'll start seeing more exclusive games. And to me, that's, like I said at the top, even cooler than day and date, getting things that are not directly made by Nintendo and help sell this console. We're going to always have the Mario Karts and the Zeldas and the Animal Crossings and the Metroids, but it's great when you can get more and more that says, like, hey, this console is the place to be for games. It's got cool quirks, it's got really fun controller colors, but it also has an incredible lineup of games, and Nintendo's making a case for this to be their best lineup ever. Emily Rogers was tweeting about that tonight, saying, like, yet again, Nintendo comes through, and it sure looks like when all is said and done at this generation, it will probably be rivaling the Super Nintendo as their best library of games for a generation, and that is super exciting to be a part of and to know that so much more of that is coming. Favorite announcement, Gabe? Favorite moment, favorite announcement? I know where you're going to go with this.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's impossible to say anything that isn't Sayonara Wild Hearts, a pop album video game.
I'm so glad that we speak the same language. Goodness gracious. No, I do think that Mortal Kombat 11, that one to me is nothing is going to beat the surprise of Ultimate Alliance coming back, but I was very stunned to see that Switch logo at the end of the trailer. That to me was very surprising. But yeah, it's Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, a great get. It just feels like such a genuine fit for Switch, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As long as the gameplay is good, and we should expect it to be from Team Ninja, this is going to be a really big and important title, I think, for Nintendo in 2019.
Yeah, it has to be. And I wasn't making fun of it. I actually think that Sayonara is like an interesting idea to pop album video game. I don't know what that means really. But yeah, it has to be Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. And, Mortal Kombat is going to be Mortal Kombat. That's going to be really cool. They're always really quality titles. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
For sure. And a small shout out once more to Smash Bros. And the team, because whatever I think of it, whatever Gabe thinks of it, they are continuing to really just go against the grain, I'd say, and surprise us, circumvent our expectations. World of Light all of a sudden comes out of nowhere at the end of the launch, hype preparation period, and boom, it's this insanely large mode that comprises the biggest chunk of the Smash content. And then they come in with their final, their final character, I guess, / first DLC character, Piranha Plant, completely crazy, off the wall, unexpected. And now here, our first fighter, the DLC pack. Oh, there's talks it's going to be something from a nominee from the Game Awards. It's going to be a crossover. Maybe it's the Square Enix character. Maybe it's a Bandai Namco character. Nope, it's Joker from Persona 5. Like, that to me is applause-worthy, and I hope that they continue to do things that are striking and bold, and hopefully it'll pay off with an even better version of an already almost perfect game. Let us know how you would rate tonight's show and how you felt about the announcements from Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 through Crash Team Racing, Mortal Kombat 11, Joker in Smash, and more. What were your favorite parts? How do you feel about the direction of the DLC pack? Do you take Reggie at face value? And do you think that Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 will go down as a dud or as one of the more dominant Switch titles coming out in 2019? That lineup is shaping up real nice. If they get it all out there, it's going to be a good year, and we will be there the whole way with you. So make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and its games. We've got you covered. In the meantime, for myself and Gabe, a fantastic day. Hope you enjoyed the Game Awards. We sure did. And until next time, Switch Force, out.